Hello, guys. Hope you all doing well. This is TJ, and you are listening to Beyond the Ring podcast. And we are going to discuss Dark Side of the Ring, season three. Brian Pillman. We had seen on previous week that we part one was released, and we got to see this week the part two. And today we're going to discuss the two-part series of Dark Side of the Ring, the Brian Pillman. So the show actually started off focusing on his early childhood till his early into breaking into his wrestling. So he was a very quiet child, as they say, and he had some health problems. He actually faced many adversities and challenges due to that. He had difficulty speaking. So there was a day when he was breathing heavily actually, and the doctor actually came and they had an emergency tracheotomia in his Brian Pillman's home dining room. And actually, they also said that he had over 40 surgeries on his throat. Man, that's a hell lot of surgery that he's got to repair the issue of his throat, vocal cord scrap that uh, he has got. So it was very uh, sad to see this moment of Brian Pillman, because this show, actually this documentary, when they sent it, I was literally on the verge of crying. I would narrate you a bit of the highlighting points in this review and discussion, because that's what this podcast is. Going forward, we saw that he, due to that operation, actually due to that surgery, he actually was very quiet for almost 2 to 3 weeks. He didn't speak to anyone. So he was kind of seen by the society as a quieter kid, and he and I think, and as they say in the show, this was the moment, I think, that he thought that he wants to overcome this. He wants to speak up and he wants to get into the wrestling career. Uh, so we saw then the main aspect of the story was mainly told by his sister Linda Millman. So her sister was his main driving force, and this family got together because of uh, her only. And he was really struggling with uh, the health part, as I said. And then we saw uh, another thing, his personal life, because he had so many family issues and all. He had many affairs, actually. He had married two or three times. Three times, actually. No, he married two times, and he had some extramarital affairs as well, and he had some five children. So it was very difficult to keep up with those challenges and to feed the family. And he was very responsible because of that, and he was trying his best to do what he was doing. Which he was playing was the loose cannon. The character, in simple languages, he doesn't care about anyone, or he he can do anything like stuff. He's very crazy. In short word, he's nuts. So this was the unpredictable character of loose cannon Brian Pillman, and this actually played out very well with the audience. And many times in the show we see the thing that he do in his real life. Real life, and also when he played character was very real, that fans felt like this was real. And he was very nuts in his real life as well. They were thinking like that. So we also saw NFL coach Kim Woods actually interviewed by Vice, and he said that he was very good at football and he was about to join Cincinnati Bengals, but his ankle injury pulled him off from the football career, which led to actually him trying out another thing, that was wrestling. And he actually trained in Hart family. Hart Family Wrestling Academy, and he competed in Stampede Wrestling, and then eventually he got into WCW, and he got to WCW because of somewhat of the help of Dave Meltzer, because Dave Meltzer actually pushed him, pushed him actually. He actually said good about him to WCW guys, and they signed him, and he was doing nothing actually, and uh, in early on in his wrestling career, but then the management actually put him into a tag team with Steve Austin, and Steve Austin actually recalls that he was not very interested in doing this thing as a tag team, doing wrestling as a tag team, because he was a singles guy, but he noticed that how much Brian Pillman was good at this thing, because he used to write his own promos and all. There was also uh, a story that he told when they traveled together, Steve Austin and Brian Pillman. Steve Austin actually drove the car. Brian Pillman used to actually take out vocabs to write his to write his promos. Actually, such was the passion for wrestling for him. So he was top of the game actually. So this actually helped Steve Austin a lot, as he said, and this actually helped change his opinion on Brian Pillman, which was not the case when he was when they joined the tag team. And this was a pretty good tag team, and have seen some matches of Hollywood Blondes, and they were pretty good tag team. They were like quirky, and they were cocky heels, just not hesitating to do anything. This was kind of a kind of attitude that they had in their tag team run. And Pillman actually leaves Rochelle for his second wife. Her name was Melanie, and they have their own two children. And so this made that they have total of five children. So it was pretty uh, difficult to uh, actually manage all the family situation and that financial situation and all. And early on, Brian Pillman actually found many upside and down, because there were some management issues going on in WCW. uh, Sometimes he was getting pushed, sometimes he was not. So it was a very roller coaster ride. And he was also very disturbed to disturbed and in his life actually, and with his second relationship and all, and the five kids that he had to look after. And he was in need of he was in some financial trouble, and he was needing of some more money. So he actually tried to convince in the initial uh, I think it was in 1995, as I said, with Eric Bischoff, that he want to get his contract, get his amount raised to actually $400,000. But Eric Bischoff actually didn't uh, didn't say that thing. He didn't say he was not willing to give that contract, but he actually planned to move on to. He discussed with Eric Bischoff actually he will go on to anywhere else, and he will get over his character. And he also actually agreed with that. Eric Bischoff actually agreed with that you go find a source and get it over on your character, and then come back, and then raise your stock value, and then we may say what we can do. So Eric Bischoff was not ready to give that deal of contract. So he decided to go off and negotiate with WWF. He was starting to negotiate with other wrestling promotion. He had this strategy and this plan that he wants to go to WWF and uh, get that big amount, a big payout from Vince McMahon, and eventually then leverage with WCW's Eric Bischoff to more sweeter deal. So this was kind of the strategy which no one had ever think of, which no one had ever done. So this was everyone like Jim Cornette, Steve Austin said that this was a very smart kind of thing that Brian Pillman has done, because he actually had become successful in that, because he actually gone to the WWF. We will talk about it. So before going to WWF, he had some appearance in ECW, but the lack of some creative direction caused him not continue there. And then we saw uh, Jim Ross saying that they had some meeting going on, and when Brian Pillman actually comes over to him, and he actually started to play his character and all. And Vince McMahon was also there, and he was just behaving like he was knowing them for many years and all. So when he left, actually Brian Pillman was playing with them to get it over with his character. So Jim Ross actually said that he was playing his character. It's very good, he said. So Vince McMahon finally decides then to sign him to the contract, and it was for 3 years, a guaranteed payment of what he was expecting, the $400,000 he would be getting guaranteed, where he was also getting that amount, not getting actually the amount, and also uh, the renegotiation would have been gone for every 3 months in WCW. So this was actually kind of a very sweet deal for Brian Pillman, and he got what he wished. But this was the turning point of this documentary, and his life as well, as we speak, because he met with a very brutal and very nasty accident. He actually had, as I said, they say actually that he was very high on the drugs, and that caused him to uh, get, that caused him into that accident. And thank God the kids were not there. Brian Pillman was there, and along with his wife Melanie was also there. And we later we found out Melanie was also alcohol addict and all. So uh, the uh, association with the association and the he made his return to WWF. He actually found out his or met with his old friend, WCW friend Steve Austin, and Steve Austin actually had an idea, because this loose cannon gimmick and his character was like very selfish and all. He was heel at that time, Steve Austin, so would play out well. So he actually pitched out an idea to attack him. Uh, Eventually, they were like shown as friends and all, and then he attacked at a segment at Raw, and he was brutally attacked on his knee. He was he got a lot. Steve Austin got a lot of it for that, because he was ready to take that thing. Uh, and as we speak, Linda Pillman, the sister of Brian Pillman, also said that he was not very ready to return to wrestling and all. But because the family and all forced him to return to that thing, and because he was taking um, regular pills and drugs, and he was also at that recovery phase, and he was at the danger of losing his life as well. But he didn't care about that. Like whoever had said anything that for his good, he would say that he's okay, he can manage it all. So he was at the kind of character, he took so much pain, but then also he was performing for, uh, I would say, this was kind of urgeness, but we got to see his heart as well. He was such was a passion for him, for that wrestling. And and such was that uh, uh, love for his family and children. We also saw that he loved his children without any difference. He loved each of his children very much. Further in the storyline, they also had a Sri Boston actually got into his home for a segment like to attack, and Pillman actually had a fucking gun actually. Uh, literally he had a gun, as he was known for that character loose cannon. People were very disturbed to see him like that, because he was as I said, he was very natural, he was in real, he was very unscripted, uh, unscripted in what he was doing. We had seen in WCW days, as well as they saw when he had his match with Kevin Sullivan, the I Quit match. He actually said that I quit Booker. So this was not a thing that fans was expecting or had saw in those times. In those times, this was very shocking, and this was very skeptical what he was doing. So such was the unpredictability of this character, and he played out very well. And when actually this segment was also not that very good, as Jim Ross says, because this was not the thing that they should have shown onto the TV. It's a wrestling product. It's not a crime drama or something. So they even Jim Cornette also said that he was not, even Dave Meltzer, not Jim Cornette, Dave Meltzer also said that he was not into this idea. This was bad actually, and Vince McMahon actually apologized for that in the next week of Monday Night Raw, where that was the only explanation that he gave for that gun segment that he had. Gun segment actually happened before the period of Attitude Era, and the fans were not into it, and the fans weren't ready for that kind of reality-based wrestling that they saw in. Going forward in Attitude Era, and Pillman actually continued to wrestle after that. He actually go to show, as Linda Pillman said that his sister, Brian Pillman's sister, she said that he actually goes to wrestle, he goes to show, and then he comes back, and he fits off to his own hand to his IV, and then she saw that he was not interested, he was not into that very much, and he suffered a lot of pain while he was doing it, because obviously it was a recovery phase for him. So I mean, this would have been a lot of pain for him. And there was also a clip that they had shown. He had a match with, I don't remember. I don't remember which wrestler it was, but he had a match where he actually does a drop kick from uh, drop kick from the top rope, and I was hoping that how the hell he's jumping from that top rope. He had that fixed into his uh, uh, they had shown he had this ankle broken and all. He had that two bolts actually fixed into his leg. Still he was performing. Man, such was his the urgeness, or this or his passion, I would say. uh, I would say this is not a passion. This was a very bad uh, timing for Brian Pillman, and this was gonna sooner or later he was gonna face the effects of this, because he was so much pressurizing him to do this. And after this, we saw Pillman was actually, as I said, he was regularly into the lot of drugs and all. So his her sister also said that he would take pills and all very much when he had his pain and ache, body pain and all. He actually take the pill more and more as the pain grows on, and this led to the unfortunate, unfortunate, and which was going to happen sooner or later, because such was he pressurizing him. He Pillman was actually slated to wrestle at Bad Blood 1997. So at the show, actually, the wrestlers show up at 1 p.m. or 2 p.m. Before the show, but Brian Pillman was not there till 5 p.m. and Jim Cornette actually called his hotel where he was checking out. He has not. So the hotel manager were checking his records, and they say that he he was dead. He was dead actually. So initially Jim Cornette was like, what the hell he's doing? What is this? Is its work? And I mean, such was the character of him. They believed in that unpredictability. They believe in what he was doing. He was actually nuts, as I said. In what he was doing, he was ready to do anything unpredictable. That he actually was being in ECW when he was therefore when he actually Slater actually had made an appearance there. We had shown such was the naturality of his character, such was his character here that he had played. So he thought Jim Cornette actually thought that this was all along a play, that his work is going to get over his character. But no, the hotel manager said actually that police has come to check on that and all. Investigation is on. So then Jim Cornette said that he called actually Bruce Pritchard, and Bruce was he was busy actually. And then he had said, Jim Cornette actually said that he's fucking dead. So you better call Bruce. I want to discuss with him. So then we had that sudden demise, and which was very sad to see. Because he had he was only 35 years old, and he had left many moments to give for the wrestling fans. And I mean, in my opinion, this was ruined by his that he only, because he actually pressurized him too much. But I will also say that this was all about his family and all. He wants to perform, and if he didn't perform at all, wasn't making that money. And he would have actually not at the level, or not been able to see his family and all. So that was the point where Brian Pillman was dead. Saw some interview of Brian Pillman Jr., Danny Pillman, and Brittany Pillman. They said that they were absolutely destroyed because Brittany had his father and mother gone. She was very lost and all. And Brian Pillman Jr. and also had faced many bad things. Actually, I actually was very sad what he said, that his stepfather actually uh, used to abuse him. He used to send dogs and all to his room, and he used to lock him up. Such was his stepfather's animosity towards him. So that was pretty sad, I would say. And I was very at the verge of crying when he said that. He actually was very in the morning as well when he said that. He actually cried in this when he was saying this. Then he said that his father was dead, because he so thought that that was all about his work or something. Uh, so that was very disturbing to see from Brian Pillman Jr. And as we saw then, despite all this, Brian Pillman Jr. actually rekindled his relationship and with Melanie, because he said that after all is his mother, and there's no point I would behave like what she did to him actually. There's no point in behaving like that. So that was a very good, such a nice guy, Brian Pillman Jr. is. And he would I bless him, because he's currently performing in AW. So I am sure that uh, he would be making proud for his proud his dad. And after that, we saw some fun little moments when uh, sister Brian Pillman Brian Pillman's sister was the only one who was supporting like a mother. Melanie was also very kind of very uh, kind of very thinking like she had done wrong, and shouldn't have done like that. So such was the pain that the children had gone through this. Man, I do when I listened to this the children's story, I was I was very I think that I am such I'm very fortunate about like I am now, because what they had experienced, I will not never be kind of want to get experience this. Such was the pain that these children had gone through, because they are very they didn't do anything actually. They didn't do anything. So this was a thing that they gone through. And the children actually, Brian Pillman Jr., Danny Pillman, and Brittany Pillman told that Brittany Pillman actually, she was also mourning. She was on the verge of crying, that because she also told that Brian Pillman's sister was on the only true source and the true positive that they had got, because her father and mother had gone. So it was so nice to listen actually. And she was the, as I said in the beginning of this podcast, she was the joining point of the family point of this, for joining family point of this uh, of the story, such that she loved his brother's children. So that was it. And then we saw that the episode ended with a very light note. You can say that despite all this dark subject matter that we saw, the emotional thing that we saw, and all the sadness that we were going through in this entire documentary. Uh, but still, Pillman's sister actually had a, as I said, they strive to make sure that Danny, Brittany, and Brian, they remain close to each other. They actually meet each other at some point in their house. So that was very kind of a positive thing for these three children. And Melanie also told that she actually misses that moment, because of what she has done. She would never be for even though she would never be forgiven for that, but she would be like to be get forgiven by these three children, and she said I hope to doing good things for them in forward. So that was a good changeover for the Melanie, a changeover for Melanie. So what she has done, that was very bad. I would say that was also a very turning point for Brian Pillman, and that was also if not the if not the problem, or if not the reason why he caused the death, but this also had his fair share of contribution as well. And lastly, we saw some last 3 minutes or 2 minutes, they actually focused on Brian Pillman. He said that he would want to make his father proud, and I'm sure, kid, you would make Brian Pillman proud. And I'm looking forward to your wrestling career to bloom. And I love to see your matches and all in AW Diamond. Such was your dad's story, and I'm very I'm very actually sad after listening this story. Uh, I thought that how much I was very fortunate in this world after listening to this documentary. I was so open when I listened to the story. So as I said, in the last 3 minutes or 4 minutes, they focused on Brian Pillman's wrestling career, because he was not into that wrestling. He didn't think about going into wrestling and all, but he got into wrestling. And Brittany actually said that you are quitting into wrestling. You just sits on to your room, close to a room, and you just play a video game. How are you gonna go into wrestling? Brittany was also worried. Brittany, Melanie also were worried when he was deciding to go to wrestling, that he would go get into the trap like Brian Pillman. But she actually was uh, she was actually uh, understood that it was his passion, and it was to make his father proud. And he's doing well, man. And I hope that he does well going forward. Actually, Linda Pillman, Brian Pillman's late Brian Pillman's sister, lives forever, because like they get that positive energy, and hope they uh, get that peaceful life. I pray for that. And this was it, man. This was a kind of a very sad documentary that we saw. Every time Dark Side of the Ring, they just nailed it. This documentary, they just nailed it. This was a very good documentary. And next documentary we are gonna see, as I search on Google, they are returning to next week for an episode all about WCW and NJPW's infamous collision in Korea show. So that would be an interesting thing. Haven't listened about anything. Maybe I am thinking like this would be a kind of NW thing that they did. I think so. I don't know what is this. Just guessing out of nowhere. But that was it, man. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And uh, I will be dropping this kind of documentary reviews every week, as and when this comes up. So, as I said, next week is WCW and JPW Infamous collision in North Korean Korea show, and we also saw the this was it, man. This was a very, very excellent episode, I would say. Dark Side of the Ring, they always nails it, and they actually had done better this time with a bang. Season three, uh, if they I actually like that they are doing part one and part two thing. They are not overburdening the fans with too much content, too much 1.5 or 2 hours content. They are keeping it short, and I like that. It would also be a version of this relaxed version or relaxed season for people to watch Dark Side of the Ring. And I'm seeing that the next episode will be on all about WCW and NJPW's infamous collision in Korea show. So that's an interesting topic. I have no idea what this is about. It would be interesting to see uh, this documentary. So I'll be doing this kind of Dark Side of the Ring documentary, or any other uh, documentary, the WWE Network content as well, going forward, as I'm very creating actually I very fun doing this. So maybe I will do this maybe I will do this going forward. So I would like to I would like you to make sure that you like, share, subscribe to my channel. I haven't got any subscription till now. I would like to know your thoughts in the comment section as well. What do you thought about this Dark Side of the Ring documentary? So much that they had given in this. So put on to the comment section what you liked about this. What are the aspects that you made sad about this documentary? And that's it, man. I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, be safe, be energetic, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.